time again. So I got a lot of emails, and I gotta tell you, it's really cool, so thank you, everybody. How do I do chicken francese? Even though I posted the recipe, everybody kind of wants to see me do it. So we're gonna do this video in 2 parts so that you don't get tortured watching me cook 2 packets of chicken. But the basic stuff that you're gonna need, and I have 2 packets here. What Terrence was able to get, we got chicken tenderloins, which I actually do like. I did it last time with them, but I'm finding that these weren't the greatest today. So what I did, they were a little bit too thick, and when it's too thick and you keep cooking it, it's gonna dry out. Trusty pan, saran, and I just kind of get out a little aggression, and I flatten out my chicken. So that's this. You're gonna need flour for dredging, and then the other ingredients, olive oil in the pan. This is kind of heated. Keep your butter out for the sauce. You're gonna need 1 whole lemon. You may want a lemon and a half. Famous chicken broth, bottle of wine. Here's your sauce. So now the prep work as to how we coat the chicken. So because that chicken is kind of a little bit on the big side, I'm gonna use 6 eggs. Last time I did it, I used like 4, and then I wound up having to put another egg in because there wasn't enough stuff to coat the egg. So I'm just gonna try it with 6 this time. So that's it. So also, if you don't have a Cuisinart, you don't have to do it this way. I just choose to use this because I think it, again, blends better. Even if you have a blender, throw this all in a blender. It'll work just as well. So we're gonna put the 6 eggs in. And then, here's Terrence's favorite, Pecorino Romano Locatelli. I put 4 ounces in. Yes, he did buy more supply. I put that in. And then, what you also want is fresh parsley. If you can't get it, it's okay. You can use the dry. But again, I feel like the fresh parsley gives you better flavor. And I have like a good handful that I'm gonna put in. I might put actually a little more. You make sure that you just really have the heads, don't have the stems on, because you don't want to coat your eggs having stems all over them. So we're going to put this in here, and we're going to mix it all together. So I can tell you right now, just by looking at it, that, come here, Terrence. See how it's so liquidy? This is gonna have a little bit of a hard time sticking to the egg. So what I'm gonna do, and it's not gonna hurt it, is I am going to put a little more cheese in to thicken the sauce. Again, it's not gonna hurt the flavor, but also too, remember, with salting, this is your salt. So I'm gonna put, I'm just gonna put another good handful in there. And I'm gonna let it mix again because I think that this is a little bit too liquidy. Instead of 6 eggs, I probably should have just used 5. Let's just mix again. Yeah, it's better. So we're gonna take this, pour it into the bowl. Leave that out. And so this is the process. It's a little messy because it's flour, I'm not gonna lie. This is olive oil in the pan that it's already kind of preheated. I don't put it too high because what's gonna happen, it's just gonna burn off and then you're cooking your chicken with nothing in the pan. I really don't want to have to add oil to a pan that's already started cooking. To me, the flavor is just not the same. So then, what we're gonna do is flour, egg, flour. Pull that off a little bit because it's getting warm. So we're going to dredge in the flour. Then we're going to dip in the egg mixture. You can definitely see that it's thicker. So you see how good coated this is? This is what you want. This is going to be the flavor of the chicken. And then we're going to go back into the flour. I told you it's messy. Sorry about that, but trust me on this one. Okay? And then, I'm gonna put this back on. I have it on like a 5 setting, and I'm just gonna put it back into the pan. And you're gonna continue to do this with all the cutlets, Again, don't really put it on a high heat because it's not gonna work well. It's messy. I'm doing it over here so you can see it all. I'm gonna put that in the pan. Again, same thing. Dredge, back in the pan. If the cutlet is too fat, it might take a while to cook. So that's kind of why I pounded these a little bit thinner, just so that it cooks better. And you can see it's really sticking there now because I made it a little thicker. Again, dredge, throw it in. Okay, so that's the batch that's gonna cook. Show them that. Okay. So after these are all cooked, you can tell when they are, this is a mess, I told you. When they're pretty much cooked, you know when to flip over a cutlet. What's gonna happen also too is after all these cutlets are done, we're gonna make the sauce, which will be the next video when we come back. The cutlets are gonna go back into the sauce, so they're gonna cook a little bit more. You want them to marinate in there to get the flavor of the Francese sauce. So that's where we're at. We'll be back shortly and I'll show you how to do the sauce. Bye. Okay, so here is yummy, yummy, all the chicken, so you can see what the coating is like on it. So those are all done and I set them aside. Now the pan is hot. I took out all the gunk from the pan, like the oil that gets all the crumbs. You don't want to deglaze the pan with that. So this is hot because I can feel it. And I just got a bottle of Chardonnay. So the pan is going to steam because you're deglazing the pan because it's very hot. And then what's gonna happen is the alcohol is gonna get, it's gonna get like a little thicker, like soupy. This is the base of your sauce. So we're gonna put this in. I'm gonna put up the heat a little bit. I use like not even half a bottle. See, it got too cool because you're playing golf. So the pan is gonna start heating up again and it's gonna take a couple of minutes, but I see it bubbling. What I do, you don't have to, again, it's up to you. I add a half a stick of butter because it makes it thicker. And you can see this, let me put this up higher so that it starts to boil. Put half a stick, put that in. And then with the wine, it will, woof, getting a high. With the wine, it's gonna start cooking down. And that's what you want. You want it to get that thickness so that it adheres to the chicken. So we're gonna melt this a little bit. And again, we're gonna do this for the speed of not having to sit and watch this for 20 minutes. But now, bring it in, Terrence. You can see how it's bubbling. This is what you want. So what should have happened when I put it in the pan, it should immediately started doing this, but the pan got a little bit too cool. You wanna do it when it's really hot. The next step, what I do is I have 1 lemon. And the big thing about a lemon so that you get all the juice is you roll it out first and most of the juice should come out of the lemon. Don't use squeezed lemon juice that you buy in the store. It tastes horrible. Trust me on this one. And you're gonna do it in 2 halves. So what I basically do, come in closer again, not too close so you fog it up. You can see it's starting to get thick. So then I do the juice of a lemon. Got a pit in there, so just watch. And I strain it through my fingers. And I try to squeeze out as much as I can. So that's the first one, throw out the pits. Here's part 2. Again, squeezing it so I can get as much as I can. Holding the pits. And there's that. So this is gonna continue to cook down a little bit and you can see it's starting to get a little thicker. And I can really smell the lemon now that it's in there, getting the butter melted. I'd let this cook for about 5 minutes. And again, your other secret, what you could do, which is what I do so there's more sauce, I put about a half a container of lemon juice, of chicken broth. So now, if you look at it again, come in big, you can see the sauce is yellow. So you can do this then. Take another lemon. I let this come up to a boil. Then I roll another lemon. Now I'm gonna put a few slices in there too. Not really thick, but also to just continually flavor the sauce, because you may have possibly like watered it down when you added the chicken broth. So I'm just gonna throw those in there. This will come to a boil again, and then when that happens, clean my mess as I cook. We're gonna say this boiled now again because it's gonna take a while. When it boils again, that's when you take the chicken and you put it back in. And they can lay on top of each other, that's fine, it's not gonna be a big deal. I just move the pieces of lemon and I just put it all right back in the pan. Now it's boiling. It smells really good. And you're just gonna move it around. All the juice will eventually get to it, so don't worry about that if you don't see it all covered. So then the next thing, I get a big spoon, and you can hear it boiling in there. And I just kind of move the chicken around and I start pouring it all over it, everything. You're like, now it's really boiling. So you want that to get really coated so that it all has the flavor of the lemon. So now that it's all boiling, I think we're kind of done. So I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to grab the cover if I can find it. I'm going to take it off the stove. Excuse me, babe. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use a dish because I don't know where the top is. Cover this, and then you're going to let it sit. If you can let it sit 15 minutes, it would be great because, again, it's really going to get the flavor of the juice. Just cover it. Leave it. That's it. Serve it with a rice pilaf. Tonight we are trying to be good. So I'm just going to make string beans with garlic and oil, and that's our dinner. So the third one will be Terrence's taste test. So enjoy. Thank you for watching.